Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Travel Webcast webinar, Rocky Mountaineer Overview and What's New for 2018. I'm Dan McDonald. Presenting for us today is Graham Cove, Director of Global Sales Operations for Rocky Mountaineer. Hi, Graham, are you there?
I'm here.
Excellent. So we can hear you loud and clear. And before we get started, I'd just like to let the viewers know that if you have any questions during the webinar, just type them into the Q&A box found in your Zoom toolbar, and those questions will be answered after the presentation has finished. Okay, Graham, if you'd like to go ahead and share your screen, you can start whenever you're ready.
Thanks a lot, Dan. I will get it going right now.
Fantastic.
There we are. We're looking good.
Yeah, it looks good.
Fantastic. Well, thanks everyone for joining me today. As Dan said, my name is Graham Cove. I'm the Senior Director of Global Sales Operations for Rocky Mountaineer, which is a fancy way of saying that I have the great pleasure of leading the inside sales team at Rocky Mountaineer that handles your calls as you call to book your guests and really help build some spectacular Western Canadian experiences. What I'd like to do is start off with a quick video. And we'll let that be our sort of lead into the Rocky Mountaineer experience.
You can't experience the Canadian Rockies through a screen. You have to be here with us. Travel through this natural wonder and get a glimpse of the face with a glass of wine in one hand, and a camera in the other, aboard Rocky Mountaineer. Canada's Rocky Mountains away.
So just a really quick view of some of the opportunities experience on Rocky Mountaineer.
The onboard experience at Rocky Mountaineer focuses on what we call our 4 S's. We start with our sweet and savory, which is really about the dining experience on board the train. Whether in Silverleaf or Gold Leaf service, we focus on providing real Western Canadian authentic dishes through our dedicated culinary teams on board the train, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as we move forward. The second S is our service, and this really is the efforts of our onboard hosts to really take care of our guests and ensure that they are doing more than just being there for them, but in fact taking care of their many needs. They're engaging in storytelling and explaining where we're traveling through. So it's really about the journey, not about the simple travel. Of course, in Western Canada, one of the major focuses is the scenery as you travel between Vancouver and Kamloops and then into the Canadian Rockies. No matter what time of year they're there, the scenery is absolutely outstanding. And your clients will catch sparkling glaciers in the spring, lush green landscapes in the summer, and an assortment of gold, orange, and red leaves in the fall. And then the really unique part of the Rocky Mountaineer experience is the socialization, the chance for guests to meet each other and to sort of communicate as they sit on board the train, to interact and meet guests from around the world who are there sharing their experiences as you share yours. You sit down and have a breakfast or lunch together. So it's a tremendous opportunity to really meet people and to engage again with the hosts and each other on what the experience is all about. So, you know, when we talk about the destination, the onboard service, the gourmet cuisine, and luxurious surroundings are just a few of the reasons why Rocky Mountaineer rail journeys are considered by many to be really the only way to see the Pacific Northwest and the Canadian Rockies. This unforgettable all-daylight train trip, and I want to emphasize that, it's all-daylight travel by rail with overnights in hotels. That's one of the, again, the really interesting parts of the Rocky Mountaineer experience. It really offers the romance and the history, reminding us that traveling is all about the journey as much as it is about the destination. Guests from around the world are treated to exceptional onboard service and, again, the views of Western Canada and the Pacific Northwest. So we really invite your clients to sit back and enjoy it and to really take in everything that there is to experience. Our routes will really transport your clients in more ways than one. Each is unique, and we have over 65 packages to choose from. And I know as a sales professional, that can be a little bit daunting at times, but that's also why we have our incredible team here in the Sales Center who can help walk you through the right questions to ask and to help qualify your clients to ensure that you're giving them the experience they really want and to give them that perfect, unique, authentic Western Canadian experience. So as I mentioned, here's where our major route map where we travel. We can see we are a Western Canadian traveling through British Columbia and into the Rockies and into Alberta. Our itineraries can start either in the Rockies or again in Vancouver, so operating in both an eastbound or a westbound, really giving a mix of opportunities and adventures for people to take. We have our 4 primary routes. Our Rainforest to Gold Rush route takes guests from North Vancouver up through Whistler and Quesnel and into Jasper. Our journey through the clouds, traveling from Vancouver with an overnight in Kamloops and then a continuation on to Jasper. Perhaps our most popular and certainly our longest serving route is our First Passage to the West, Vancouver to Kamloops and then into Lake Louise or Banff. And then our Coastal Passage route services Seattle, linking Vancouver, and then connecting to many of these other destinations to create an extended package out of Seattle. And then the great opportunity is to actually loop multiple of these into what we call a circle journey, a chance for guests to do, let's say, our First Passage to the West, travel by motor coach then from Lake Louise and Banff up through Jasper, and then continuing the route coming down through Quesnel, Whistler, and into Vancouver. So I want to walk through these routes one by one. Let's start with the Rainforest to Gold Rush. And again, going from one extreme to another, this route really traverses the world's largest temperate rainforest, linking it to the arid ranch lands of the historic Caribou Gold Rush region. And although there isn't a lot of gold left, it's still very rich in its natural beauty. The Pacific rainforest is ripe with scattered islands, fabulous fjords, and ancient cedars and towering peaks. So you can imagine the first day leg from Vancouver to Whistler, traversing the coastline, really taking in scenic views, the chance to spend about an afternoon and evening in Whistler, and then departing the next day and continuing on through Quesnel and our BC, sort of the gold country, and then arriving into Jasper, which is, of course, one of Canada's preeminent national parks. One of the highlights of this trip is the view of Mount Robson, which stands higher than any other peak in the Rockies. Then we can talk about journey through the clouds. Traveling again between Vancouver, Kamloops, and Jasper, this route lives up to its romantic name. Weaving alongside the Fraser River and through the craggy mountains, your clients will view the vast white expanse of the Alberta Glacier, the rushing waters of Pyramid Falls, and again, towering Mount Robson. Nature's wonders really do line up one after another on this itinerary, from raging rivers and through the serenity of as you approach really the zen beauty of Mount Robson, all the way along glacier-fed lakes and sweeping waterfalls surround the area, so there's just unbelievable viewing at all times. There's a lot of big game animals around Jasper National Park, and certainly, particularly this time of year in the spring, the wildlife viewing can be absolutely outstanding. We happen to actually have some of our learning journeys, which are our travel agent FAM program, that have departed over the last couple of weeks. And the photos they've been sending back of the bears and the elk and the moose that they've been spotting have been just outstanding. So the early springtime through this space is just a remarkable time to travel. And then First Pass to the West is sort of the part of the route that united Canada and helped define a nation. Traveling past Craigellachie, where the last spike was driven, that really brought Canada together as a nation. So traveling from the West Coast towards Banff or Lake Louise, your clients again will witness mountains and wilderness, and much of it seemingly unchanged since the days of the first explorers. The First Pass to the West really carries history buffs on a breathtaking route past pivotal spots in Canadian history. One of the amazing components being that of the travel through the spiral tunnels, which is really a unique feat of engineering, able to get the trains up the grade and through the rock. And of course, as I mentioned, traveling past Craigellachie in the last spike, again, the scenery, the beauty, and the wilderness that your guests experience are absolutely unbelievable. And to realize the challenges it took to build the railway through this destination. And you know, the exciting thing about Rocky Mountaineer in this particular route is that we are the only passenger rail service traveling this route. So there's only one way for your guests to experience this unique travel, and it's really something that they will get a lot out of. And then our coastal passage route, as I mentioned, links Seattle and Vancouver and into the Canadian Rockies. And you travel from, again, the coastal rainforest, coming up the coastline, a spectacular trip from Seattle to Vancouver, an overnight or perhaps multiple day overnight in Vancouver, and then the continuation linking up to one of the other routes that I just talked about. It's really an incredible way to see the Pacific Northwest and the Canadian Rockies. And as I mentioned again, our circle journeys where you can combine multiple routes and really get more days on the train, more chances to see the experience. One of the interesting facts just to be aware of is that with Journey Through the Clouds and our First Passage to the West, while the route between Vancouver and Kamloops is in fact the same corridor, in one direction you travel on the original CP rail, and on the return journey it's on the CN rail lines. So in fact, you're opposite sides of the river, differing views, and so that each day is truly unique, even though the leg may look similar in the travel. So then I want to talk about our service levels. You know, what we offer is an all-dome fleet offering panoramic views of the stunning Canadian Rockies scenery. We offer two onboard service choices, our Silver Leaf service and our Gold Leaf service, or as we like to call it, extraordinary and even more extraordinary. From the moment your clients arrive to the moment your clients disembark, everything is carefully choreographed to make their journey effortless, luxurious, and unforgettable. So our Silverleaf service is really, as I said, this is the spectacular. It's a single-level dome coach offering delicious gourmet food, all the same scenery, all the same storytelling, all the complimentary beverages on board as you experience in Gold Leaf service, but in a single-level dome, with the significant difference being that your meals are served tableside instead of a dedicated dining room. So here you can see a view from both the outside and inside of a Silverleaf coach. You can see that there is an ample amount of headroom, lots of space, and what you see here is the socialization that I talked about. Guests are not firm in their seats the entire time. They'll get up, they'll move around as the different views come into space. The host will advise that there's a better view on perhaps the right or left side of the coach, and people get friendly with each other to make sure they all get the right photo opportunity. So you can see these are custom-built, single-level dome coaches. As I mentioned, they include all complimentary beverages, including wine, beer, spirits, non-alcoholic drinks. The meals are plated to your client's preference and served at their seat with tempting snacks throughout the entire journey. We offer complimentary transfers and baggage delivery to their overnight hotel accommodation, and it's available again on all the routes we serve. The luggage delivery is another unique and sort of neat component. So as your guests arrive at the Rocky Mountaineer station, they'll check in with us. We'll take their luggage. They'll board the train, and their luggage actually travels separately from them. And when they arrive in Kamloops, they arrive into their hotel room with their luggage waiting for them, already there in advance of their arrival. So again, making it a very seamless and easy process, no pickup. They leave their bags back in the room the next morning, and we'll transfer it to their next hotel in the Canadian Rockies as well. There's a great selection of regionally inspired menu items offered right at the seat, all plated, as I said, to your client's preference, and really receiving the royal treatment while traveling the railway to our various destinations. We pair our Silverleaf service with our Silverleaf hotels, and so the opportunity to stay at beautiful hotel properties. As I mentioned, the Rocky Mountaineer experience is an all-daylight train service. There are no sleeping cars on Rocky Mountaineer. Guests travel through the day, have the comfort of a hotel room in the evening, and then return to rails or to continue their tour and other touring destinations. So here we see a sampling of some of the hotels that are paired with our Silverleaf service, including the Georgian Court, the Paramount, which is in Vancouver, Paramount Seattle, the Fairmont Chateau Lake Louise, the Delta Bow Valley, and the Delta Whistler. All wonderful accommodations and great opportunities for your guests. Then let's talk about Gold Leaf service, really our signature service and our most popular level. These are custom designed bi-level glass dome coaches that really allow your clients to take in the dazzling vistas upstairs while enjoying their gourmet meal downstairs. And so Gold Leaf Journey again includes the full dome windows that give unparalleled 360-degree views from your client's seat in the upper level of our custom designed coach. Hot gourmet breakfast and lunch served in the lower level dining room of their dome coach, and again with snacks throughout the journey. An exclusive outdoor vestibule in the lower level of their dome coach, space to get out and get even better views with their cameras. Complimentary beverages, again, including the wine, beer, spirits, and non-alcoholic drinks, and all of the baggage transfers that I spoke of before. And then really with the dining, they indulge in a little more culinary magic prepared by a team of chefs and served in the exclusive Gold Leaf dining room. And so that's the lower level of the dome car. In the lower level, the dining room awaits for your clients to have the opportunity to sit with other travelers and enjoy a freshly prepared breakfast and a 3-course lunch as dramatic scenery unfolds outside the windows next to me. We serve with Gold Leaf service a sort of a first seating and a second seating for our breakfast and lunch service. Typically, the guests who are on first seating on day 1 will be on second seating on day 2. And I will tell you from my own experience that coming off of the second seating of lunch, it's questionable whether they're going to need dinner in whatever hotel they end up in that evening. It's an absolutely incredible dining opportunity. And again, the range of hotels at the Gold Leaf service provide even more beautiful spaces to stay. The Fairmont Lake Louise, the Hotel de Germain Calgary, the Sheraton Mall Centre in Vancouver, the Fairmont Banff Springs, the Fairmont, the Four Seasons Whistler, the Jasper Park Lodge, the other Fairmont properties in Vancouver as well. In Banff, one of our more popular ones again, the Rimrock Hotel. So absolutely phenomenal hotel selections for guests to select. But in the end, it's about the journey. And so our destinations ensure that when the train pulls into the station, guests will find themselves somewhere absolutely enchanting. And I talked a little bit about the destinations, and I know we got a little bit of a delay in our start today. But I do want to just highlight, of course, Seattle for our Coastal Passage route, and an opportunity for guests, whether traveling from the U.S., or in fact looking for another exploration, the Coastal Passage route giving the Seattle opportunity. My own hometown, Vancouver, somewhere I'm very proud to call home and to help so many people from around the world experience. And of course, a great combination for Alaska cruise guests who may choose to do an Alaska cruise in combination with the Rocky Mountaineer experience. Vancouver really does have everything, and it's a beautiful city for clients to come and enjoy if they haven't made it already. Calgary, with a youthful vitality, really Calgary has a phenomenal selection of walking trails, fabulous restaurants, and at the foot of the Rockies, some spectacular views to take in. But it's the Rockies that really attract, of course, so many of our guests. So Banff with its mineral hot springs, and of course, just the legendary backdrop behind it. It's Canada's first UNESCO protected park, and it really stands as a template for conservation and offers visitors a quintessential Canadian experience. I strongly recommend looking at itineraries that have, 2 nights in Banff, ensuring your clients have lots of time to explore this absolutely incredible space. Lake Louise, again, really the iconic Lake Louise, one of the most pristine and photographed lakes in the world. It's got a beautiful train station, a peaceful lake, and neighboring mountains. It really does make it a must-see location. And you saw in our first passage to the west, we offer the opportunity for our guests to train either in Lake Louise or in Banff, and they can certainly do nights in each as part of their itinerary. So as we look at all the many package options, it's absolutely possible to do Lake Louise, Banff, and Jasper in a single itinerary to ensure that your clients get everything that they want to get. And I, of course, mentioned Jasper. For whatever reason this year, particularly Jasper, extremely popular and very high demand. We're seeing great demand for all of our itineraries. But Jasper seems to be something that has a lot of attention this year. It's a quiet mountains town, really filled with wildlife, restaurants, and adventure. It's really an ideal location for those seeking some wilderness before or after the Rocky Mountaineer journey. And then Whistler, which is one of the midpoints along our rainforest to gold rush route. And again, you know, they did one of the co-hosting with Vancouver, the 2010 Olympics. In the summertime, lots of trails, lots of restaurants, lots of places to explore, beautiful spas, so whatever your guests want to do. Whistler can also be added on as a pre or post to some of our other Canadian Rockies packages, so not simply as a midpoint on Rainforest to Gold Rush, someone doing First Passage West or Journey Through the Clouds. We can develop packages that include time in Whistler as well. And then Quesnel was again a midpoint. So again, this is a stopover along the Rainforest to Gold Rush route. It's originally a mining town. It's really kept its old-time charm and it's grown into a really enchanting city. An overnight stop on the Rainforest to Gold Rush route, Quesnel offers some peace and quiet along the journey, with some great little restaurants to select from for your guests as they arrive in the evening. As I said, if they're still hungry after that incredible lunch. And then Kamloops also serves as a midpoint stop on our Journey Through the Clouds and First Passage to the West itineraries. And so many of our guests travel to Kamloops, and it's a beautiful riverside city in the middle of a desert, an arid desert space. Fantastic restaurants, local pubs, beautiful parks to walk through. And so it's, again, a great stopover. And new this year, the City of Kamloops is offering historical walking tours in the evening that Rocky Mountaineer guests can book and experience. And these are starting to prove very popular as a way to sort of get a little bit more out of your Kamloops time. So when should guests travel? And of course, really we travel from April through mid-October. And all seasons are beautiful and all offer a unique experience. As we're sitting in spring now, April and May, we see the last of winter. You may find that some of the lakes are still frozen over, and you get the beautiful snow-capped mountains and ice breaking over the alpine lake. The high water levels can make the rushing rivers a breathtaking sight. As I said, this is the time of year where the bears are coming out of hibernation. The animals are sort of getting started for their summer season, and so quite often the wildlife viewing is particularly fantastic in the spring. As we head into the peak of summer, the temperatures improve, the conditions certainly are continually beautiful. The flowers are coming into full bloom, and you get the lessness of the towering trees. And so the dry, warmer weather in the summer is a great setting for the baby animals to now dot the landscape, and perhaps a little more comfortable for some of your clients who are looking for a warmer experience. And as we head into autumn, we really bring the crisp mountain air, and we see the colors change again as it really brings out the gold and the oranges and the reds of the foliage turning. It's a very time of vibrant colors, beautiful landscape photography this time of year. The spawning salmon will again attract bears and eagles down to the rivers, and the first sign of winter's nearness are usually small amounts of fresh fallen snow on the mountain peaks. So this is the sales guy's way of saying that it doesn't really matter what time of year your guests or your clients want to travel. We can offer them a spectacular experience, but knowing what's important to them, we can also help craft that experience to make it the most complete experience for them. And yes, you can truly have it all. When it comes to customization, this is something that Rocky Mountaineer feels is very important. While our packages are built, a vast number of our packages do get customized. People, if they want to add an extra night in one of the Canadian Rockies locations, in Calgary, in Vancouver, in Seattle, add on a package to Victoria, or as I said, to Whistler, we can help customize itineraries. We can work with you and your guests to really figure out what that perfect experience is for them and ensure that it fits their budget and their experience. We add components like scenic helicopter tours, a little 12-minute Rocky Mountaineer helicopter ride, as you come in or out of the Canadian Rockies, really getting a highlight of the views. The Yoho National Park tour, a half-day tour that visits Spiral Tunnel and Emerald Lake, and the natural rock bridge that spans the Kicking Horse River. Between Lake Louise, Banff, and Jasper, the chance to do the Athabasca Ice Explorer ride, where they can ride the Ice Explorer to the Athabasca Glacier. Again, a really unique and thrilling experience. And between Vancouver, Victoria, the opportunity to do a whale watching tour, where they can go out for an expedition out to the waters of Harrow Strait and look for the orcas in the wild. All of these available. And also the ability to combine these itineraries with a cruise. Rocky Mountaineer has partnered with Holland America to offer a series of Rocky Mountaineer experiences so that we can, as a single booking, book both land and sea together. We can also work with you if you choose to book the cruise itinerary by yourself. Our team can work with you to figure out what the best itineraries are that line up with the departure or arrival date for your client's cruise experience, and then build the package to suit, as I said, their travel needs or their preferred cruise travel brand. Through the Rockies, and while we're doing our experience tours, travel is generally by motor coach, enjoying, large windows to take in the scenery on a variety of tours, generally all through Brewster sightseeing, and so again, really ensuring that your clients get a tremendous experience. They also have the option to explore at their own pace through our rail and self-drive option. So clients can book the Rocky Mountaineer experience, and then we pair with Avis rental cars, still booking their hotels, but now letting your clients choose the pace they set every day for the exploration they want to make. So if they're looking for something a little more independent, this is a great way for guests that want to explore on their own, not be part of an organized tour group. Although there are great services and online apps that can actually provide tour routes that they can follow as well. So again, for the more independent-minded, the rail and self-drive option is another great way to offer them something special. And so I wanted to look at a couple of our best sellers for 2017, and then talk a little bit about what's new for 2018, and then open us up for questions. Our Rainforest to Gold Rush at Leisure with Cruise is one of our most popular. This is actually a 19-day, 18-night package. It involves 3 days of the Rocky Mountaineer Gold Leaf or Silver Leaf service, a 7-night Glacier Bay Inside Passage cruise on Holland America Line. It includes 9 breakfasts, 8 lunches, 7 dinners, and an afternoon meal, 11 nights of hotel accommodation, here with those 7 nights on the ship, and then a vast array of experiences, including the Calgary Tower, the Calgary Banff to Banff tour, including the Banff Gondola, panoramic helicopter sightseeing tour, the Yoho National Park tour, the Icefield Parkway. This really is for those that want to see it all. It's the biggest and best way to see the Western Canadian Rockies and Alaska in one destination or one route. Our Journey Through the Clouds Explorer is an 8-day and 7-night package that offers 2 days of Rocky Mountaineer Gold Leaf or Silver Leaf service. And that is something, again, as sales professionals, I want to make sure that you do see here that when we talk about extended packages, it involves 2 days, but often of rail time, and then multiple days in the destination. And that's where, whether it's the self-drive or the motor coach tours, the circle journeys allow you to build up to 4 and 5 nights of rail time in those packages. Our first passage to the West, Discovery Self-Drive, as I mentioned, for, again, those a little more adventurous clients who want a little more control of their daily activity. It is a 6-day and 5-night package, so a little bit shorter, again, with 2 days of Rocky Mountaineer Gold Leaf or Silver Leaf service, and 5 nights of hotel accommodation. And then the Coastal Passage highlight is an 8-day and 7-night package coming out of Seattle and terminating in Calgary, or the reverse, beginning in Calgary and completing in Seattle. You'll see the numbers there: 1 night in Seattle, 2 nights in Vancouver, a night in Kamloops, a night in Lake Louise, a night in Banff, that wonderful experience tour with the panoramic helicopter tour, and then a night in Calgary before heading their way home. And our Golden Circle via Whistler, this is one of those circle journeys I spoke of. It's a 12-day, 11-night, 5 days of Rocky Mountaineer Gold Leaf or Silver Leaf service, and 11 nights of hotel accommodations. Really, again, a loop from Vancouver, and a way to really let your clients see virtually all of the Western Canadian experience in Canadian Rockies. So what's new in 2018? We're excited that we have 2018 on sale now. We're seeing early demand for, so while we still have good availability in some dates for 2017, we're also on sale with 2018. And we've added some new features to the experience, like our first passage to the West, culinary exploration. This is actually a chance to get on and off the train, not only the Rocky Mountaineer meal experience, but to then take in farm-to-table experiences at internationally renowned restaurants. So we've added sort of a food pairing part of the experience to help clients who are looking for that special culinary exploration. again, new for 2018, are some of our carefully crafted adventures. So the chance to add components in Vancouver like a guided cycling tour, or to explore Howe Sound on a Zodiac boat, or in Lake Louise to paddle a Voyageur canoe across the sparkling emerald waters of Lake Louise. So again, finding those more unique and dedicated experiences. In Jasper, you can also have a guided nature hiking tour of Jasper National Park, and in Banff, a relaxing and refreshing rafting tour down the Bow River Valley. Should point out that's not it is more of a rafting tour than an aggressive whitewater rafting experience, but it's again a unique way to see the scenery and to really take in more of the experience. And again, for those that have single travelers, Rocky Mountaineer does not have what we call a single supplement. We actually do dedicated single pricing. So for your clients who are single travelers, the socialization aboard Rocky Mountaineer creates an experience where single travelers can still have an absolutely incredible time. They can meet and mingle with other travelers. And so if you have those single travelers that are thinking about something new to do, a new experience, Rocky Mountaineer is a great space for them to come and really see the scenery and take in the experience. So how do you identify your Rocky Mountaineer clients? Who are the people that suit Rocky Mountaineer? Our demographics, as you can see, about 78% of our guests fall under the 55 to sort of 74 age category. So with the average age sitting about 61, about 82% of our guests are married, and a little over 48% are retired. This average length of trip, I should point out, really suits more what we see out of our long-haul markets. When it comes to Canadians or North Americans, quite often that length of trip shortens to about 10 or 11 days as sort of the average. But again, for the long haul, with a multi-day cruise, about 73% of our guests include a cruise. When it comes again to the North American market, that number shortens a little bit. And what we're actually finding is that a number of your guests who've maybe done Alaska once or twice, they just want to do the Rocky Mountaineer experience as their alternative to a cruise, instead of sort of including a cruise and making a longer trip. Our demographics really, if you think about your own client base, river cruisers are a key demographic. There's a very clear match between river cruisers and the Rocky Mountaineer guests. As we've studied who they are, they're really the same kind of people, and they're Alaska cruisers. They're people who have typically done Alaska or are looking to do Alaska. In fact, 60% of Rocky Mountaineer guests have traveled on a cruise in the past 5 years. Again, that same around 60% are interested in an ocean cruise in the future. And as we said, and about 40% are taking that Alaska cruise in conjunction with the Rocky Mountaineer journey. So again, your river cruisers and Alaska cruisers are the prime people to talk to. And as I mentioned at the start, my pleasure is in my role as Senior Director of Global Sales Operations is to help lead our incredible team of vacation consultants that are here in our Vancouver office that are really there to help you sell Rocky Mountaineer. We're more than just a reservations or a call center. We're a true sales center where if you have questions, we know that Western Canada may not be your area of specialty. And so you want to make sure that you've got someone who's there to support you in making the right offer to your guests and your clients. So feel free at any point to call, to talk to one of our members of our trade team. We're more than happy to walk through what the options are to sort of position great questions that can help highlight for a guest and ensure that what we book will meet their expectations. So make great use of us. That's what we're here for, to really answer your questions and help you get what you want out of your Rocky Mountaineer experience. Want to encourage you, if you're not already registered, to log in at rockymountaineer.com into our travel agent trade portal space and ensure that you're registered to receive our ongoing trade communication, to get our updates about our current promotions and other things happening at Rocky Mountaineer. It's a great way to stay in touch with us and to explore the Rocky Mountaineer site to get more information. And so, one of the things, of course, that we have, and as you've persevered a little bit through our technical issues, we have our prize for those of you that have stayed with us. Right at the very start of the presentation, I talked about our sort of the 4 S's that make up really the secret to Rocky Mountaineer's success. So if you can name 2 of those 4 S's and send your email answer to Amy Mitchell, which is amitchell@rockymountaineer.com, who's our trade marketing specialist and is the person keeping me in line in this room today. Go ahead and send those emails to Amy, and she'll be very pleased to get you entered into our draw, which will be the Amazon gift card and a copy of our fabulous culinary cookbook. And so I'll give you a minute to remember what those were. And then at this point, I really want to open it up for questions and see if there's anything I haven't covered, something we can help you with as you move forward in your Rocky Mountaineer opportunities.
Oh, okay. And Petra asks, what is the single supplement?
So again, there is no actual single supplement. We, in fact, do our pricing based on all of the components. So we can go ahead and, for any particular package, the amount can vary depending on what the entire package is.
And Lori says, it was a great presentation despite the technical glitches. Thank you, Lori.
Thanks, Lori.
And Petra says, thank you for your answer. Right, and Amy Wong would like to see Amy's email address again.
Sure. Is that up on the screen properly right now?
Yes, it is. Thank you. And Amy Wong says, thank you. You're welcome, Amy.
It is our pleasure.
And we'll allow another minute, of course, for people to submit any questions they may have into either the chat box or the Q&A box. Okay, so I do believe that's it for questions. So I'd like to thank all the travel agents that attended today. And Graham, thank you so much for your great presentation.
It was a pleasure. Thanks everyone for your time, and we certainly look forward to hearing from you in the future if there's anything we can do to help you sell Rocky Mountaineer.
Wonderful. Okay, Graham, you have a fantastic day.
You too.